You see, Booster, in his sick, twisted, little deviated mind, wanted to get married to the princess in a town called Marrymore, which was a church which had religious content in a Mario game, but that's not the point. So Booster was in the church, where he found the Toadstool. They were getting married, but the two chefs who were preparing the awesome cake had prepared it so awesomely that the cake was now alive, and they fought the cake. They defeated it with their mighty hands, and they were on to another location. The fourth star was spotted on Star Hill by Frog Fuchsius. And when they got there, they traveled around, beating up some mastodon skeletons and little gophers and shit like that, till they found the fourth star. Then they went to a town called Seaside, a small little burg indeed, where things didn't seem quite right. They weren't right, they knew they had to fight, so they went into the sea to get a star from a pirate named Johnny. But the ship he lived on was not a piece of cake to go through. In fact, it was a gauntlet, until they met a giant squid, but they defeated him even though he used gunk ball attacks with his ink and to the max. They defeated Johnny and his band of sharks, and Johnny was agreeable. They gave him the fifth star, and he went up back to the surface where the town was overrun with Smithy's evil robot mechanical dudes. It were the elders of the town. It was rather rude. They fighted Yaridovich with the help of Johnny. They killed him just in time. It was rather funny. Then they went down to Land's End to get to a town of reform monsters. It was aptly named Monstro Town. They traveled across bridges and Sandstorm Pass and other cliffs, till they got to Bellum Temple. It was the dog who had antagonized them earlier with Scarecrow, turning into Scarecrow special attacks. But now he could clone them, but that was no matter, 'cause they defeated him readily to get to Monstro Town. Monstro Town, Monstro Town, Monstro Town. There they met Jinx, and there they met a Goomba, and there was Culex. And they found the star that was Monstro Town, but it turns out it was just a starfish. So they met the Troopas, and they escorted them up the hill to Bean Valley, where they met the Shy Away and his crazy piranha plant. His crazy piranha plant! And the seeds and the fertilizer which gave Mario later in the game the lazy shell, the ultimate weapon. But now I digress. And they found a magical beanstalk which led up to the place of Mallow's birth. It was known as Neverland, a place above the clouds. In fact, it was a cloud. The evil Queen Valentina had stolen the throne from King Nimbus, and Mallow needed to get it back, so we went to Garrow the statue maker, who turned Mario into a gold statue so he could sneak into the palace and infiltrate. But what he didn't count on was Dodo, the malevolent large-ass bird, who was Valentina's lackey for reasons unknown. And Then he escaped and wandered through the castle and fought a Birdo. You know that thing with the vagina in her face?
Oh god.
After they defeated Birdo with relativities, they made it through the castle and defeated shamans and came out the other end and intercepted Valentina. And Elder took one of them off, but they defeated her readily, even with her powerful magic. Then they met up with King Nimbus, who took them into the Barrel Volcano, where they fought off all of these enemies until they met Inopio. Inopio escorted them to the Barrel Volcano, helped them defeat the Tsar Dragon by giving them items and supplies. But when they had found the 6th star, it was cruelly wrested from them by the Axum Rangers. By the Axum Rangers. There was pink and black and green and yellow and red, and they came together with the Breaker Beam. With the Breaker Beam. But they were having their asses handed to them. And after they had gotten the 6th star, they went back to Nimbus Land, Nimbus Land, Nimbus Land, Nimbus Land. There they took the royal bus to Bowser's Keep, where they encountered 6 doors and they had to go through 4 doors to get to the other side, where they defeated Smithy's enemies and uber powerful guys of the like. And finally they got to the sword that crashed in the beginning. And Geno uses Geno World to do 9,999 damage to him. 9,999 damage to him. And they're fell into Smithy's world, where they fought off Screws and they fought off Ghosts and they fought off mechanical copies of the bosses they had faced. But nothing was good enough until they got to Smithy himself, who wanted to just create weapons. It was a final battle! Final battle! They defeated Smolder and they defeated the Shicer and they defeated Smithy himself. So he went into his final form, which was a crazy head that turned into a fox and a tank, a wizard and I don't know what the last thing, it was a fucking chest, but it was crazy! He had 8,000 hit points, but it was no matter to them, because they had the ultimate weapons. Peach with a frying pan, Mallow with the cymbals, Geno with the star gun, Mario with his slate shell, and Bowser with his drill claw. Smithy had his ass headed to him! Ass headed to him! Got the final star, which was yellow, and Geno departed back to Star Road to repair, so everyone could get their wishes back, and everything was happy. They had a parade, and each star resembled each character's ending, their ending, their ending. That was the greatest story ever told, the Rock of the 7 Stars. If you haven't heard a better story, then maybe you should fucking kill yourself. Do it, emo kid. Fucking kill yourself. The Rock of the 7 Stars. The Rock of the 7 Stars.
Woo! God damn, what was that, like 5 minutes?